What's up, people? I'm living so de fac large. So anyway, let me bring my Dunkin' Donuts coffee into the shot because now it's a paid-for service, everything I do. So I got to contact Dunkin' Donuts and tell them to pay me $1 for showing their mug on my show here. Anyway, people, lots have been happening. And as my marketer says, don't tell anybody anything's happening. For all they know, you are done, out of the business, and we are going to rise from the ashes like a phoenix. All that stuff. Fantastic. Great. For everybody that is still participating in watching this program, for whatever it is, I appreciate all of you. And don't ever forget that. And I know you might be saying that I'm a D-bag lately because for the last couple of weeks I was saying how I wanted to make some phone calls. But when we started to make those phone calls, the idea was that we were going to be doing things over at T3. We were going to start taking calls over there. They were building all that stuff. So all that came to a screeching halt. Now I've got this super duper office all to myself. I got people here, and this is just fantastic. I couldn't imagine anything better than what's going on right now. So now we're going to really build this thing. I've got some solid people. But again, nothing, I'm not going to start. It's not going to be the making of. You know, when I started doing these videos, it was like I invited you in to witness the making of Suck My Nasdaq and the making of HitTheBid.com. Now I'm just going to make it, going to spring it on you, and hopefully you will come along. And most importantly, now is the time. I actually have a landline. Ooh, remember those? So give me your phone number. I will call you personally. I know a few guys are my priority. I spoke to a couple of guys. Anything you want to know about in this industry, now is the time to ask me. Okay? If you want to find a place to trade, if you want to join a broker-dealer, if you want to stay a retail kind of a client, if you want to learn about the stock market, if you want to take courses to learn about scalping, if you want to take courses to learn about playing the fades, if you want to take courses about swing trading, if you want to learn about options, I am now in a position where I can offer all of that. Some of the courses will be run by me, some of the courses will be run by my outsourcing company, but those are the things that are going to be coming down the pipeline. Most importantly, the radio show is what Hit the Bid's going to be completely about. It's going to be me and my cohorts talking. We'll have guests on the show, and you guys will call in. That's going to be the crux of it all. We're going to run contests. Just going to be a radio station. Hit the Bid Radio, people. It's been 3 years in the making, and now finally it's going to happen. As far as everything else, and right now what I can do is send me your phone number, and I will call you, and I will tell you all the details about the partners that I have right now. And if you're serious about taking a step into this world, this day trading world, I can point you in a direction, and I can honestly say, and I never say that, ever. You know what I'm talking about? I never say the word honestly, because that pretty much says that I've been lying to you completely about everything else. But some people like when you say that to them. Makes them feel snug and secure. When somebody says to be honest with you, that implies that they've been lying to me all along. So it's one of my pet peeves. I hate when people say that. I also help people, and then they sum it up with, that being said. Now, I know I'm looking for it now because it bothers me. But 5 years ago, the only people I heard saying that being said were gangsters. You know, Johnny, what you did was very disrespectful, and we could take you out and your family out tomorrow. That being said, we're going to let this one go. It's the only time I heard that being said being used. Now it's everywhere, and it pisses me off. That being said, we understand. You said it. Move on. Make your next point. Okay. But right now, I hope you enjoyed my little girl yesterday, because there were too many jokes with this Anthony Weiner. Well, let's talk about stuff now, because send me your phone number, your email address. Remember, the best way to get in touch with me right now is Jefferson@HitTheBid.com. Jefferson@HitTheBid.com. And if I had my editor right now, he'd be editing on the fly right now. But we're going to go bare bones still right now. Talk about what's happening, and you know, you'll see what's going to happen. But the news, too many jokes with this Weiner guy. I mean, with a guy named Weiner, the joke's already out there. He must have been tortured his whole life. You know how kids are. So, growing up and becoming a public figure, not only do you, I mean, there's so many levels to his stupidity. When you put something on the internet, it's out there forever. You can't take that back. You don't know who's going to see it. Cock shots do not belong on the internet unless you don't care if the world sees it. Your cock is going to be out there. So it's so beyond belief because I liked this guy. I liked his approach to politics. I liked some of the things that he was saying. I know he's a liberal or a Democrat, blah, blah, blah. It was more about his attitude and how he was taking on people that were, detractors. I don't want to get into his political views, but Mr. Wiener. Lesson number 1 has been learned. Obviously, don't put cock shots on the internet. But with a name like Wiener, you'd think this guy would be avoiding everything Wiener implied. I mean, if Nathan's called this guy to host the hot dog eating contest, he's like, you know what? I'd love to, but there's just way too many jokes there. So sorry, Nathan's. I'm going to have to take a pass. Anything Wiener you want to avoid, guy. Stay away from anything. And it's just beyond belief that this guy can do it. But I think I have a theory. Apparently, the rumor is this guy's got a big hog. I mean, his junk is something to behold. So after many years of being married, his wife's seen it, done it. She's bored of it. Somebody said, hey, I heard you got a big hog. Let's see it. And, hey, I know. If some hot chick wants to see my junk, I'm going to be real tempted to whip that out. Because, hey, why not? Because I know my wife's bored with it. Oh, I know my wife's bored with it. And if I was big and proud, I'd be wanting to show it to everybody. So the first person that would actually came out and asked me, because he doesn't seem like the guy that was really popular in school. He was probably picked on. And at that point, you're in school and you're shy about your junk. You probably had this massive thing and people probably made fun of it. Little did he know what he was, the magic that he possessed. So some intern wanted to see it and he's like, sure. And then 6 other people wanted to see it. He's sure, okay, look at this thing. But it's crazy. You can't do this. But another thing is that I love the fact that, if he just would have came out and been honest up front, if he just would have came out and told us the whole story. Really? Is that what the public wants? And I appreciate that too. When you get caught, you come out, you apologize. And America's great like that because they do forgive and forget and you get to move on. They hate when they're lied to right to their face. And I can appreciate that also. But what was he actually going to do? Was he just going to come out? He's like, you know what? That is my junk. And I'm proud. And my wife's really not feeling it anymore. So I figured, let me just spread the love out there. How would America have taken that? For me, I would have moved back to New York just to vote for him for mayor if he would have said that. So I guess, I don't know how other people would have taken the complete honesty behind it. But another thing about this whole honesty thing, everybody I've been talking to, you could tell he was lying. You could tell he was lying. That show Lie to Me has created, everybody thinks they can tell lies by facial expressions. Oh, you see that? His eyes. He didn't blink. He must be lying. Oh, he looked down and to the left. He must be hiding something. Oh, he stuttered when he said that. He must be saying something. Yeah? Why don't you all become professional poker players if you think you could pick up tells that easily? Please, people. Come on. You didn't know he was lying. Nobody knows who's lying. That's why there's all this stuff that goes on. But you just do have to accept one thing. This is what goes on. Politicians are out of their minds. Out of their minds. Everyone's out of their mind. It's just a question of whether or not you're good enough to keep it under wraps. Because keeping it under wraps causes you to get facial twitches. Keeping it under wraps causes the stress. So internally, as much as you don't want to be caught, it feels so good to just release it. But then you have to take the consequences. That's why you bark it out. When you're feeling stress, you go get that punching bag. When you're feeling stress, just go outside and destroy something. I'm telling you, it helps. It helps a lot. So back to trying to keep this thing under 10 minutes. The market, it's terrible. We all know that. summer. We're not going to go anywhere. We haven't gone anywhere. We've hit that quadruple top on the Qs. Selling the premium has been working out pretty well. I've managed to claw and scrape all the money I made back on that Google disaster, and now I'm positive for the year again, which is really, I mean, after the Google disaster, because the Google disaster was just really stupid. I went against myself, thinking that if I used the double negative theory, maybe things would work out. Normally I don't take one side when I'm playing these options positions, but with Google, I owned the stock, and I went and bought calls. What was I thinking? Unhedged. What an idiot I was. But I managed to claw that back, trading the CMG, mostly by taking in all this premium on shorting some calls. We were short the open, but again, nothing matters but what's happening right now. Right now, I'm still short the Qs. I own some a couple biotech stocks. If you want to know which ones those are, just email me at jefferson@hitthebid.com. Because again, I'm not going to start talking about what I own and what I'm doing, because I want you guys to be more active participants with me, because every day it could change. You know, one day I'm long CMG, the next day I'm short CMG. So it doesn't matter what I say in these videos anyway. So that's it. Let me wrap this up and go. But yeah, just send me your information. I'll tell you about this new place. And like I was saying when I said I can honestly say, and I know I hate that saying, but this is the, if you're worried about rates, buying power, software, and all that stuff, there's a real reason that I never touted any place over the last 4 years that where you can trade, because I never felt comfortable. And for me to feel comfortable somewhere, it takes a lot, because I trust nobody. Nobody. And me not trusting anybody in turn works out good for you, because I do my legwork and my investigations to see, especially after Jerry Byrne incident, and especially after the Newark debacle, and every person that I've met on the street pretty much has their own agenda, secret, that they're keeping from me. But it looks like there's a little bit more transparency, not a little bit, a lot more transparency. See, glass windows, we all see each other. So that's that. So get in touch with me if you want to learn about where to trade, how to trade. And then the next step is, if you want to learn, I will point you in that direction. And then the big grand event is when Hit the Bid will be reopened. A completely different website, very basic, just you and I hanging out. You'll know what I'm doing. We'll shoot the shit, have a good time, and all this stuff we wanted to talk to all these years, we'll be able to communicate better. All right, there he goes. See you later.